And joining us now is Kirk Franklin and his wife, Tammy. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. So let me start with just trying to unpack and understand what's going on here, Kirk. And this is a developing story. So to be clear, we're talking about the things that have happened so far that have been made public. Your 32-year-old son, Kerrion, posted a video of an exchange between the two of you. It was clearly very heated. It was a phone call, and it contained profanity and anger. Let me play some of it.
Get him back out the way before I put my foot in your. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I'm old.
What's up?
I will punch your neck, nigga. Ever disrespect me.
I did it.
Just hours after the release of that, Kirk posted his own video to fans. Here's a portion of it.
Recently, my son and I had an argument that he chose to record. I felt extremely disrespected in that conversation, and I lost my temper. And I said words that are not appropriate. And I'm sincerely sorry to all of you. I sincerely apologize. I want you to know as a father that during that conversation, I called the family therapist and got that therapist on the phone to try to help. He never played that part of the recording.
Again, this show is about gospel music. It's not about Kirk Franklin, but this real news happened, and you both have agreed to talk to us. Kirk, let me start with, how did you learn the video had been posted?
Well, a lot of people in our family and community, they privately have known for over 20 years of the tension and challenges that we've been going through as a family privately. I have 4 children. When I married my wife, I had a son, and my wife had a daughter that I adopted. And so my oldest son and my bonus daughter, who's really my daughter, we raised them together, and we have a great relationship with my oldest son's mother. Her name is Sean Ewing. She's an incredible woman. And early on, Tammy, Sean, and myself, we started to realize that there needed to be some deeper help with things that was happening with our son. And so around when he was a teenager, we started him in therapy and counseling, and we've had him in and out of counseling and therapy for over 20 years. And as Kerrion became a grown man, when he became a grown man, his disrespect became more aggressive. And so once again, family members and friends and close friends, as a matter of fact, that was my close friend that was on the phone. I tried to get him on the phone to try to help with the situation. His name is John Drummond. So that was him that was laughing in the middle of the conversation. It wasn't my wife. It wasn't Sean. It was my best friend, who's like an uncle to Kerrion. He's known Kerrion since Kerrion was 1. So, just as a family, we've been trying to rally for years to try to help. And like I said, now that he's about to be 33, as a grown man, the relationship at times can become very agitated and very frustrated in trying to help. But I'm not going to stop trying to help. He's my son. He's my son. He's my firstborn. And I never want him to feel what I felt not having a father. So even though it gets tense and tight, when he calls from time to time, I will answer his call, even though I expect it to sometimes kind of derail. It's important for me because what if that call is the call that things change? So I never know, and I never want to give up.
You and Tammy have been married for 25 years. You talk about this blended family unit with that you refer to with involving Kerrion's mother and your children. Kirk, you know that the second tape that Kerrion has now released on social media, the audio is grainy, but he is accusing you of parental abuse, even though he's an adult, nearly 33 years old. he is alleging parental abuse. What is your response to that?
I love my son, and I have tried very privately to keep all of the areas that we've been working with him in counseling as a private matter. We've been having challenges with my oldest son for years. And again, as he's gotten older, his disrespect has become more aggressive. But I'm confident that his mother, myself, Tammy, a family, there's never been anything physical that concerns me or even makes me uncomfortable, because I know the truth. He knows the truth, and I love him. And as a grown man, I am still his dad. And when it becomes aggressive, I still have to have a level of respect. I gotta have. I'm still your daddy, and there's still got to be respect, and there can't be levels of disrespect. But I'm confident that there hasn't been any physical abuse. I mean, we've had therapy and counseling sessions and documentation long enough to know that the deeper issue is we've been just trying to help our son, to try to help
Let me ask you, Kirk, and I want to get Tammy in on this, but just quickly, because you talk about the respect you feel you are owed. Do you respect Kerrion?
Yes. I respect Kerrion. I'm not Kerrion's equal, though. I'm not his equal. I'm his dad. And when you talk to me, especially about things that you say that you want from me, I can't hear you when you are extremely aggressive when we're communicating. And that's why a lot of times Kerrion and I haven't talked sometimes for a year or two.
Tammy, let me bring you in, because I want to get some perspective from your view, because Kirk is talking about aggression from Kerrion. We hear aggression on that call from both of them. You know them both, and you've been at Kirk's side for 25 years. What did you hear there? And clearly, this is ongoing. This is not the fairy tale family ending. The family is feuding, and the whole family's hurting. What did you hear there?
Well, I wasn't a part of the conversation, as my husband has expressed, although there have been some people who assumed that I was. I can tell you that it has been a very hard and difficult situation with our family for years, to the point where my husband has to have someone on the phone to help, because it has become that combustible, I would say. Even the counselor got on the phone that day. There were apologies exchanged. There was a desire to continue or start back, I would say, counseling. And so when there is challenges, and when they start off young, as early as, junior high, and then now it's continuing as an adult, you are now communicating and dealing not only with your child, but with your adult child, a grown man. And so the aggressiveness and the nature is different. And, that's what I have experienced. I know you're asking me particularly about that particular call. Yeah. I wasn't, a part of it.
Right. But you've experienced this for the many years.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I just want to make sure real quick that our audience knows and realizes we did reach out to Kerrion over the course of the last few days and received no response from him. But Kirk, I do want to, because I know you wanted to say something else to me. Are you still trying to reach him? I know you've been estranged, and this call and all of the pain and the anger with it. Are you both still trying to reach out and figure out a way forward?
Yes, I think that this one is very painful because having my son record our conversations was a big shock for me. I had no idea that he was. Well, he's threatened it, but because he's threatened so many other things, I was just confident that, I'm going to keep fighting for him. And even in our conversations, if the fight gets tense, I just want to not give up on that one chance, to maybe that one phone call, maybe the words of, I'm ready to get help. I'm ready to go back to therapy and get the the help that I know that I need. And so I just never wanted to give up on that opportunity, even though sometimes the conversation just goes left. So, I mean, I ask y'all to keep praying for our family. I would love to see God's hand do a major intervention. Please pray for his mother. She's releasing her own statements and videos. She's a great woman, and that's her only child, and she's really going through a lot with this. And so, and just pray for all of the kids and for the entire family.
Yeah, I'd like to say too that anyone that is familiar with counseling, it's a process, and it's a journey, and it's hard, and it's stopping and starting, and it's building trust. And when you stop, it's like starting all over again. And, I've seen some comments even on social media, of taking sides, so to speak. And there is no side to this. This is news for everyone, but this is something we've been living with for years, for all of our marriage, for 25 years. And when this is no longer news for everyone, we're still a family left, even though we're a family of faith. It's hard.
You addressed your fans and you apologized to your fans. Is there more to say about the weight, I guess the responsibility when you are seen as someone, as a role model? Is there more you need to say to the fans and to the people who've listened to your music and who heard those words and were surprised or disappointed?
No, people have every right to be disappointed in hearing me use that language. I am disappointed in myself for using that language. And at the same time, I'm human. I'm a father. And I'm a father that has a son. And I have a history. I have a history of a toxic, challenging, turbulent relationship with a grown man now that I'm still trying to fight for. And in that fight, it can become so difficult that my humanity, unfortunately, that day won. And I'm going to keep trying while still continuing to admit that I am an imperfect man fighting to serve a perfect God.